Okay. All right. So we are live again. All right. Um let's do this again. Okay. All right. Peace and love to the chat, to the family. All praises is due to Universal Most High. Give thanks that we are here, that I am here to teach. Um oh, you know what? That's what I went wrong at. So what I'm gonna do, I'm pressing the wrong buttons. So usually I'm able to share my entire screen. There we go. And that is, I think this is it right here. All right. So this time I am sharing my entire screen. Okay. Let's see. No, no, that's not it. We have to do it over. All right. Just bear with me for a second. This is okay. All right. I could see it on my end. All right. We're going to go live again on Instagram. We're going to go live again on Instagram. All right. Hold on a second. Okay. It's not letting me not share. I don't want to share that. All right. Let's see what's happening here. Mm-hmm. All right. Just bear with me. We're going to get right into it. I promise I won't be long. Let me send stones. Okay. All right. All right. I think we have it now. No, I don't think. I know we have it now. So now, after all of the delays, the connection issues, all right, I bring to you all the spiritual meaning of releasing gallstones. Now, I have to take a deep breath first. Again, I would like to thank Creator Source for allowing me to be here at this time to help everyone come to the time of not who, but what they truly are. And really understanding that every physical ailment, even gallstones, have some kind of emotional manifestation. And so, even with my recent experience, if you follow me for a while, you know I do my seasonal liver flushes. All right. Every season we do a liver flush, and it's very, very good to do that because you're preparing your body, you're preparing yourself for the next path ahead. Because again, every season is to see a new season of you. Okay, the path of you. All right. For those who are on Instagram, I need something in the chat. Let me know how we're doing on connection. Okay. All right. So being that tonight is a Pisces full moon eclipse. This is a time of what? Letting go, of allowing ourselves to be renewed from things that dead weight, or what I call dead stones that held us down or held us back. All right. So this is very important to understand on that level, on that esoteric level. So here, my message that I put here, it's time to let go and welcome in spiritual divine alignment. And here I'm going to share my personal story. I believe, oh, you know what? I don't think I put in my personal picture of what I released, but we'll get to that. All right. All right. For those who are on Instagram, put it in the chat that you can see this. Those on YouTube, put it in the chat that you are following along. I am having some connection issues, so just bear with me and let me know how we are doing. Instagram family, let me know how we're doing. YouTube family, let me know how I am doing. Please, please, I need it. I need your feedback, all right? So this is on YouTube, Instagram family. Spiritual meaning of releasing gallstones, okay? Pisces supermoon eclipse, time to release unsurety, doubt, worry, discernment between you and the mind. We're going to get into that later on in the presentation. It's not going to be long, family. I know it's late, and you guys, anyone who's doing a specific meditation or preparing themselves for harvesting new thoughts, new ideas, new things for themselves, you're definitely going to have time to do that. Okay. Again, Instagram family, go to YouTube. Go to YouTube. A lot of internet connection issues. Go to YouTube. Holistica, the master iridologist. All right. All right. So also releasing people, places, and things that are hard stones in your life. How the physical body matches the mind. The body is governed by the emotional and spiritual body. Gallstones equal trouble letting go, stored emotion, anger, hard-headedness. All right. And we're going to get right into it. So recently, we did the liver flush starting on the 9th. I have to say it was amazing. This was my third flush that I ever done. And up until that point, y'all, I've never released any stones. I hadn't released no stones prior. Usually it's just a lot of waste that comes out. And I'll say, oh, I never released any stones. But this time, family, this time I actually released stones. I actually have a picture, which I don't think I put in this presentation, and I have saved it, but I'm going to find a way to pull it up, because this is what inspired this live today. And what better way to do it than on the night of the Pisces full moon eclipse, which that deals with letting go of old dead weight so that your path is cleared for what's already in store for you. All right. So y'all, greetings, y'all. Greetings, everyone on Instagram. Again, people on Instagram, please go over to YouTube. Please go over to YouTube. That is, I'm going to put it in the chat because I do not like holding this phone together. Okay. All right. Go over to YouTube. You'll see the entire presentation there. It'll be saved on my page as well on YouTube. And I'm going to post some clips on my Instagram as well. Okay. Again, tonight, family, we're talking about the spiritual meaning behind releasing gallstones. Okay. All right, family on Instagram. I will see you on YouTube. Peace and power. All right, let's turn this down. This is very bright, very, very bright. Okay, so what are gallstones, right? We're going to get into a little bit of the science part of it first before we get into the esoteric, the spiritual aspect of it all. Okay, so what are gallstones? And the subtitle is bile, the body's natural laxative. Okay, so when we think of gallstones, we think of the gallbladder. We think of an organ that we've all been told or all been taught that is something that you can live without, something that you can do without. Matter of fact, there's so many gallbladder surgeries per year. I think they call it cholestomies, or I don't know how to pronounce it. They have these different words that is so challenging to pronounce, but they have so many different, gallbladder surgeries per year, and they range between 10 to 20,000 each surgery. All right. So when someone goes in and they have a gallbladder attack, that means that their gallbladder is full of stones. Liver could be full of stones. The bile ducts is completely blocked. And so in the doctor's mindset, and again, this is what they're telling the patient when they get to the hospital, that it's impossible to pass gallstones on your own, that the bile ducts is too small, too narrow to pass it on your own, and that it can be very painful for you to pass it on your own. And if you try to pass it on your own, you can cause yourself to have a pancreas infection or pancreatitis. So if anyone who's been following me for a while, you're in my liver flush group, you know that so many people have done this on their own. And even outside of this here, it's been way before me that people have been doing this, passing gallstones on their own. Matter of fact, I first learned this is how I got into the science of iridology from my dear mother, who actually passed gallstones on her own due to a severe gallbladder attack. Okay, so let's read this here. All right, so you can learn more, because see, what I find is that the more information, the more knowledge that a person has and is equipped with, the more that they can stand on their own and not be victim to countless or pointless surgeries. Because when you start going into the lingo of medical Latin, right, it's really just Latin, and them using certain words to confuse you, then you'll feel like you have no choice because you don't understand what it is that's being said. Okay, so gallstones or intrahepatic biliary stones are hardened fat deposits mainly composed of cholesterol and bile. So if you guys caught my my last live on Instagram, hold on, let me check on here. There we go. Okay, I need something in the chat. If you guys are tuning in, make sure you share this live. I have to make sure I remind you all, because this is a lot of good information that I'm sharing with you all. And it's a lot of people out there that are suffering from these kind of challenges. Okay. So if you guys caught my last, live on Instagram where I talked about the body is capable of making its own medications. You know, this myth of high cholesterol and, you know, putting you on statins and all of these different medications that block the body's natural ability to create its own medications. Well, this is the link between high cholesterol and blocked bile ducts when concerning the liver and the gallbladder. So anyone dealing with high cholesterol, you want to do a liver flush. All of that is connected, because again, gallstones are just hardened cholesterol deposits. That's all it is. All right. Fat deposits from undigested fat material. All right. These stones obstruct bile flow, leading to poor digestive disorders and other major diseases. I talked about this many times before. You can check my last slides, but I'm just giving people, giving you an update so we can go get into, you know, what brings you here tonight. All right. There are over 50 different ailments that are connected to gallstones. Over 50. I kid you not. And I have a short list that's coming up in this presentation as well. All right. Once the bile ducts are blocked, fats are not absorbed sufficiently, leading for the undigested fats to remain in the intestinal tract. This is where your excessive gas, belching, acid reflux, and other chronic bowel issues comes into play. So for those who deal with esophageal acid reflux, constipation, slow bowel movements, you know, constantly just gassy, all of this is based upon not enough bile flow. When it comes to digesting your foods, you need bile to digest your foods properly. Otherwise, the acid will build up, the hydrochloric acid will become imbalanced. And that's how a lot of people deal with all of these bowel issues, IBS, gastritis, all of that inflammation. That's all it is inflammation. Okay. Bile with its pH levels of 9.5 is very alkaline, neutralizing acids, and serves as a natural cleansing for the intestines. So as I said at the top, bile, the body's natural laxative. You don't need all of these laxative outside of the self. You have it when the liver is in good and great working condition. So that's what we're going to focus on, is maintaining the liver health, while also not just looking at the liver as the organ within itself on a physical aspect, but really the spiritual aspect of maintaining your liver health. All right. All right. Over 50 diseases connected to gallstones in the liver, in gallbladder. Okay, so I talked about this before. All right, you can see this list here. You can screenshot it if you like. I added more to it. If you guys get my emails, you know that I discuss this a lot. I would say over this last few months, I've been very, very, very dedicated to this topic and studying the liver extensively and the gallbladder, and really helping people to understand their health on this aspect, that most of the diseases that they're dealing with is gallstones. I had someone just ask me on the Instagram live, what about thyroid nodules? I had a client, a student of mine. She took my detox for iridology level 2, and she had thyroid nodules, a goiter, and she was shocked when one of the protocols that I had for her was to do a liver flush. And, she's like, okay. So, she never had any kind of gallbladder attacks as far as she's aware of. And we have so many different symptoms that we ignore, or we don't really pay attention to until it's at like a severe level. And so once she did the liver flush, all of these stones came out. I mean, it must have been over 20 stones. And not only that, but her goiter went down. And I have, photos of before and after. I kid you not, before and after of her doing the liver flush, showing the goiter going down, changes in her tongue, changes in her skin, changes in her waist. That's all it is weight, is waist. So it just really is amazing, just what flushing the liver, flushing the gallbladder can do on an overall level with all of these different ailments. All right. So we're good. Just real quick, for those who have questions, I get a lot of questions. Of the process of the liver and gallbladder flush. All right. What do I have to do? So, you're going to get, when you join the liver flush group, right? You have to get the liver flush kit. Okay. The liver flush kit you can find on my website. And that comes with herbs for the liver. And you see in the middle here, this jar, that's the magnesium citrate. Now, when doctors, let me just pivot here for a second. When doctors say that it's impossible to pass stones on your own, well, if you're not doing the process correctly, yes, it can be very painful. Okay. So that's why it's important to follow these steps. Okay. So for a whole week straight, everybody, all my people know, we have to drink tart cherry juice every single day for 6 days straight. And it's either tart cherry or pure apple juice, because really you're drinking that because those items are high in malic acid. And the malic acid, what it does is it softens the stones for easy passage. It also helps with to dilate the bile ducts as well. All right, those passageways. So all of that is important to do, like as a prerequisite, until you do the actual, what we call the actual liver flush. So you have to drink tart cherry juice or pure apple juice for 6 days straight, right? The grapefruit and the olive oil, that is a mixture that you're going to put together. That's for the actual night of the flush. But the magnesium citrate, that's that middle photo with the white stuff in that bottle. What the magnesium citrate does, it helps the gallbladder to contract to a third of its size so that it's easier. It opens up so that the stones can go through the necessary pathways out into the colon area so that you're releasing it in your fecal matter. All right. So it's not something that, oh, it's going to be painful, it's going to hurt, because these are the steps in which you're doing in order to make it as painless as possible. You have a strainer. You have to get a strainer. The strainer is there so that you can catch the stones. Okay. Oh my gosh. I wish I would have showed. I thought I had a picture here of my stones. So when we did the liver flush, it was this past Saturday. What was it? It was the 14th. Yeah, the 14th. So what we did on the Saturday the 14th, we did the grapefruit juice, the olive oil, and there's a whole step-by-step process that I send to you with the liver flush of how you have to listen to jazz music and focusing on the liver, gallbladder in your mind and all of that. And next day, family, I actually passed stones. It was about 6 stones. And I was shocked because the last couple of flushes, I didn't pass any stones. So I didn't think I had any. And I know I read that, it takes a while for, if you don't have a lot of stones or if your gallbladder is not in like a chronic condition, that you're not going to pass gallstones your first couple of rounds. But when that third time, it actually came out, it really shocked me. And so I'm going to get into that. Of what I came to the, just the understanding of for my own self. Now, over the last, I can just being transparent here. First, let me back up and pivot. Liver and gallbladder chi. That means energy, understanding the true self to heal the root. Now, the reason why I take these liver flushes seriously because the gallbladder is an inherent weakness. I talk a lot about inherent weaknesses when it comes to my iridology work. I can tell within your iris whether you have inherent or genetic challenges based upon which parent that it came from or which side of the family. That doesn't mean that you're going to automatically, manifest that. But I can see, hey, this is something that you need to strengthen. This is the organ you need to strengthen so you can avoid that. And I was already aware that the gallbladder was one of those organs that was an inherent weakness. My mother was challenged with gallstones. My grandfather, her father, he transitioned due to cirrhosis of the liver. So this is something that I'm already aware of that I have to focus in on, even when seen in my own iris. And when I tell you, family, when I tell you, releasing those stones on Sunday, bought and did something totally different for me. It was like it wasn't me just releasing it for myself. I felt my mother's energy. I felt those who came, other people that came before me, their energy. And what I'm getting to, family, well, this is a picture of the solar plexus because the gallbladder is related to the chakra or that energy zone, the solar plexus. Okay, so you see, that night, what you're supposed to do when you're passing the stones is focusing in on the color yellow. But we go into all of that if you're part of my group. So if you want to be part of the group, go ahead and join in. Okay. So here, what I was going into, if you see the third line here, these are all of the things that I've experienced and that a lot of people that are in my group have felt and said the same. So after you release the stones, things become clearer. Okay. We start to feel a euphoric feeling, like you feel more awakened. Clarity, thoughts become clear, easier to release dead weight that has been distracting you. And I tell you, family, that's so important because a lot of times, especially as people with light energy, we tend to attract those who need the most help. And sometimes if we're at a certain time of our lives where we're resonating more with the, I don't like to say the light versus dark, because the all is you. It's all you. But sometimes when we're at that low point of our lives, we allow more at that time than we would if we were vibrating at a different frequency. And that, something like that recently happened to me. And so releasing these stones helped me to become clearer and say, you know what, there's certain things, places, and people that I had to let go. And or what shout out to Brother King Simon. He had a show the other day that he talked about rejection is your protection. So this is all part of that, protecting the self based upon what's the dead stones that you've been holding on to. A lot of times when you carry a light energy, you tend to see or want to see the potential in things, potential in places, potential in people of what it could be or what it should be, but really not looking at it as what it is. All right. So, waist loss, that's another thing that you experience. You drop 5 pounds instantly. I dropped about 5 or 6 pounds with the liver flush, but it's really not the pounds, it's the waste. It's the waste, it's the spiritual and the physical weight loss that you are letting go. Because again, you're not only releasing energy that's not only that you accumulated, but also of your ancestors from generations prior. So again, I felt my mother's energy, I felt my grandfather's energy, I felt ancestors' energy, of all the things that maybe when they were in this realm and had their body that they were not able to release in their own time. So in other words, you're not only healing or detoxing or whatever word you want to use. You're not doing this only for you. You're doing this for generations before you and also generations after you. All right, that's very important and very powerful to take in, to sink in, because a lot of times the emotions that you carry is not your own. Sometimes you wonder why you're sad for no reason. For the last few months, 2024, family, I have to be honest, has been it's been a turbulent year for me. You just my emotions up and down. It goes up and down. It hasn't really been like the stable frequency that I'm used to, before my mom, my dear mother, transitioned. And so just kind of battling with that of, oh, it's because of my mom. Oh, and I had to come to grips that it's not because of my mom, because really my mom is here. She's always here. This is things that I, taught about before, but as a teacher, you tend to not always use your own your own words. And so I had to be reminded that, okay, you're using that as an excuse. What's really going on here? So it was a lot of things, a lot of work that I had to go within myself, and even doing liver flushes. This is a time to even focus on your shadow work. Okay, because those stones are just built up, suppression of traumatic experiences, familiarity, um, built up or pent up emotions, especially relating to anger. All of that is relevant to what we're talking about here. So what I mean by back up to that, what I mean by familiarity is, um if you're at a certain frequency, you're going up and you're going up. But again, there's a certain energy that you're used to, right? You resonate with it when you were on the lower plateau. So sometimes when we're afraid or there's some kind of fear, there's some kind of doubt, there's some kind of hesitancy to keep rising higher because you don't know. See, you don't know what's out there. So, but you know what you're used to, you know what you're familiar to. So we tend to, as humans, to backtrack and go to familiarity energy that we're used to, which is, it could be a person, it could be a place, those who are afraid to move. You've been living in the same town all of your life or for years. You know this town that you're living in, or this place that you're living in, is hurting you more than helping you. Yet, because you are afraid to leap and soar and go somewhere where it's the unknown, you don't know what's going to happen. Familiar energy keeps you complacent, keeps you around the same people, keeps you around the same places, and attracts that same energy that you've always been used to. So, I'm telling you, y'all, this is all that I gathered with releasing stones. Everything I'm telling you, this is what I went through. This is what I went through personally. Me having this experience and realizing that I was used to familiar energy, used to familiar people, used to familiar places, and even making the decision to move to Georgia. I've been sitting on that idea for 2 years. I knew since 2022 that I wanted to be in Georgia. And it was the doubts, it was the fears of the unknown. Well, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get out there? Oh, all of that. And it's like, why are you concerned with the how? Just do it. So that fear, instead of stagnating me, I became more excited because I don't know what's out there. And I'm excited for what I don't know yet, what I'm going to experience. So again, family, this is all we don't realize all of the waste. It's not the body, it's the mind. And that's why I said in the beginning, the discernment between you, yourself, and the mind. All of those things in your mind are accumulated experiences that you've had in the past. And if you, again, if you're, guys, what slide am I on? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. What slide am I on? Because I'm thinking I'm on after you release the stones, things become clearer. I see the solar plexus chakra on my phone. Let me know what we're on. Okay. Let me know in the chat. All right. Make sure y'all share this live. Please share this live. That's so important. So important. All right. So you don't, where was I? Yeah. You don't really, realize that you're keeping yourself, we're keeping ourselves stagnant. And then we get frustrated, we get mad. Well, why did I attract this person? Why am I still here in this town? Well, it's you. It is you. It's something within you. Okay, someone says, I see. Okay, King Simon in the building. He says, I'm seeing after you release. Okay, good. I don't know, but on my phone it's showing something different. Okay, good. All right. So it's something within you still that craves that energy. It's a craving. Pay attention to your cravings too, because your cravings will let you know what you need help with. On a spiritual, mental level, some people crave drama. Some people or crave or have a need to be mistreated, or that because it's familiar energy. On a physical level, when it comes to the liver, gallbladder, a lot of sour. If you like a lot of sour candy, sour foods, a lot of hot foods too, spicy, all of that deals with the intestines, the liver, the gallbladder. A lot of salt, fried, anything like just fried, greasy salt. Salt, even peanuts, salty peanuts, all of that deals with, the craving for dealing with the liver, not only just the liver, but the kidneys too. Because one of those diseases that's on that list that deals with stones is gout. So those who have a history of gout definitely need to do a liver flush. All of that is connected. But again, check your cravings. Check what you are wanting and needing outside the self. What is hard to detach from, because if you're in a situation where you're not being treated right. You're not thriving in the place or the town that you're in. No one's holding a gun to your head or a knife to your throat to keep you there. It is us that is not ready to let go. And doing the liver flush is more than just the physical aspect of keeping your liver healthy. It's keeping your emotions in line. And checking what you are emoting, being mindful of the emotions you are emoting. All right. So here, appearance becomes brighter. All right. Aura, electromagnetic fields. Okay. Everyone has an auric field around them that extends about 5 to 6 feet outside of the physical body that you can touch. So the auric field you can't touch, but there are certain people that have a keen eye to see auric fields. I actually started seeing auric fields when I would say about a few years ago. It's not something that you can be necessarily trained on. I think a lot of people have this gift, but they ignore it. I started paying attention to it more when I started seeing people walking, and I can see like certain glows or feel, even when they brush past me, I can automatically detect, oh, liver, oh, thyroid, oh, spleen. I can feel the energy of what they needed to work on. It's just like in the movie Lucy, where she touched a friend on her shoulder and she was like, you need to focus on your kidneys, or you need to take this medication. It's just like that. All of that, family, is the gifts that we all have. But again, because we're so disconnected from the spiritual aspect of ourselves, because we drown ourselves with things that will detach us from spirit, like alcohol, cigarettes, smoking in general, anything that requires you to escape, you lose, or not lose the gift, but you suppress the gift. Okay, so your appearance becomes brighter. Your aura, electromagnetic fields are lightening. So this may be a time where you attract different energies that need to feed off of your light. Beware. All right. Especially tonight when you guys are doing your manifestations, your affirmations, your prayers, your chants, your meditations for the Pisces full moon eclipse. Beware of those energies that when you're doing that specific kind of spiritual work, that there are going to be others that may need that light, but didn't do the work themselves. And instead of them doing the work themselves, they feed off of you. Be very, very aware and very careful. All right. So here, I see everyone's up. Yeah, everyone's up to speed. After you release the stones, things become clearer. Let's see what the next slide is. Okay. All right. Okay. So here, as I've been saying in the throughout this entire live, it's always been a you versus you battle. That's it. That's it's just as plain as I can tell it. You know, it's always been a you versus you battle, and this is just far beyond food at this point. As I tell all my clients, healing at this point, 2024, and even before, but even more so now, even everything that's happening, all of the things that's being revealed, all of everything that you're seeing that's being unveiled, because the veil is so thin that you're able to, whatever you think right now is very important to be aware of, because you literally bring it into fruition. It's always been a you versus you battle. Okay, so even those who've seen, I've talked about it in my last live, but if you're joining on this live, those who've seen the movie, Deliverance, is it? Yeah, Deliverance, with Andra Day and Monique. At first, when they said on Netflix horror, I'm like, I'm not into horror movies. I'm not into it. So with some, I was like, I'll watch it. And I've always been a really good decoder. I used to do this podcast on my on Anchor. I called it Next Generation Hope, and I would decode movies. I haven't done it in years, but when I'm sitting there, I'm watching it, and I'm like, I'm like, oh wow, like I'm just seeing the dynamic of how it would the whole time it wasn't actual demon in the house. It was within her that was disrupting the energy, the frequency of the household, and that whatever that demon is that attached to her was attacking her children as well. So but it wasn't something, it was attached to her based upon where she was, all the things that she held on to, and that's what the actress talked about. She said it's really just I think the director, he said his words, he was like, it's time for you to know your higher self. That's what he said in the interview. He says time for people to know their higher power, and that she said, Andra Day said, it's just time for people to heal. That's what this movie is about. It had nothing to do, or not nothing to do, but it wasn't really focused in on demons outside the self and Jesus and praying to Jesus and all of that. It that a lot of people took it that way. A lot of church folks was like, yes, you gotta keep Jesus close, and that was also another way to get people to be more into, or could be a way to get them back into a religion, to attach to that entity as well. But what I gathered from it was it really was just her versus her, you versus you, the dark and the light, but bringing it together, not separating it. What happens is when we separate it and we don't discern the you from the mind, well, that's how these physical diseases begin to happen. Okay. Gallstones, anything. This is what we're focused on specifically, is the stones. And anyone who ever passed stones, okay, they're soft or they're hard. Now, mine's where I passed a total of 6 stones, I believe. Some were soft, most were soft, but there was one that was hard. It was like a crystal. It looked like a crystal, like it looked like a green emerald crystal. And I saved it and I took pictures of it, and I was like, wow. I was like, wow, like I could like hold it like that. And I was like, oh my God, all of that. And it's like I said, everything was so clear for me, clearer. uh just seeing experiences for what it was, and letting it go, and realizing that the current frequency that I was entertaining, the people, the places, all of that was something that was familiar to me. And here I am complaining of, oh, why am I still doing this? Because it was familiar. It was comfortable, it was complacent. I was still holding on to pieces of that once upon a time in my past. And, not saying that one flush is going to cure all, but it allows you that gateway, that portal to keep going further. All right. So this is what we need to do. You need to learn how to honor the all of you. Okay. The all of you, not fragmenting it, not separating it. Um, let's see. Somebody put something in the chat. Tiffany Buckner listed off a lot that happened after the filming of that movie. Death and sickness listed off a lot that happened after filming it. Yeah, my brother was telling me something like that. He was saying, "Oh, you watched that movie?" A lot of people were saying that they were recently diagnosed with cancer and diseases, and they became really sick. And I was like, wow, those who became really sick, or suddenly, no one suddenly comes down with cancer. It's already been there, probably just manifested itself quicker. They just had found out. But those who have just suddenly, or like I said, quote unquote, came down with these things, already had some kind of low frequency within their own selves that they're battling within themselves. Again, it's always a you versus you battle. So it's something that whoever those who came down with something, it was already an entity that they're battling within their own selves. Okay. And a lot of times when you watch these new movies, sometimes you got to say a specific, protective prayer. Make sure you have your notebook, of course, to take notes, but you have to say a specific protective prayer, because even when you watching these movies for the matter of decoding, you're still allowing that into your auric field. So remember, family, to do that. And I'm reminding myself as well to say a protective prayer before you watch certain movies, because you're allowing this into your fields of energy. All right. Um, yes, and movies can trigger it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I gathered when my brother was telling me that, people were, just coming down with all of, these kind of illnesses. But again, cancer just didn't just happen just like that. It's already been there. Okay. So learn how to honor the all of you. No fragmenting, no separating. You see this picture, the light and the dark, and it's a split. And the problem with the split is that a lot of times we tend to try to forget about it. Those who have mental challenges, right? Mental health, who talk to themselves, who, spaced out, rambling, always talking. They're like the person in the family that just seems like they always have some mental issue. They're on, various medication for mental issues. It's not that something is wrong with them. It's that because what happens is this is how the mind works. Uh, the mind is a protection, right? It protects. It will become a defense mechanism if we allow it. So let's say a person experienced something so traumatic at 5 years old. Well, in order to protect that person, the mind will store that traumatic experience in one compartment of the brain. Now, on a conscious level, you may think that you're done. You don't. It's the past. I'm done with it. I don't think about it. But deep down, it's still present. So it's carried with you from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14, 25, 30, 35, and on, and it's influencing your daily behaviors, how you interact with people, how you are with yourself, how you relate to yourself, how you relate to others. You could be around a person, and you know how they say there's a term, you don't really know a person until you spent like time with them. Or that you don't really know a person until you're staying with them. And you start to, you're only meeting with, people say you only meet in the representative, but wait until the real person shows up. Well, what that means is that you can't hide for but so long. And that compartmentalized traumatic experience that you kept, every time you have a confrontation with someone, that will come out and it will just vomit. It will just spew out like vomit on that person. Or you'll find yourself rambling. I've seen people, I know someone who just rambles. They talk, talk, talk. But what they're talking about is actually stuff that, the most people need to be talking about. These are the people that we call crazy. I mean, I know a person he'd be talking about chakras, and he switched subjects, and so it's just, and I told him, I said the reason why, because he had recently just got out of a psych hospital recently, and I said it's nothing not wrong with you. You have so much to get out. That's why your mind people that ramble, their mind is just, it's like squigglies. Picture a bunch of squigglies. Just if the mind is in chaos, because it's been in chaos based upon whatever happened to that individual. And if once that person confronts that experience, the mind will continue to be chaotic. So that's why we have to learn to honor the all of us, so that we don't manifest a physical ailment. Okay, I hope that makes sense, because I know I said a lot, but again, it's just really the discernment between yourself, and the mind. Okay, all is mind, universal is mind. Your thoughts are creators. Um, That's the first universal principle. Mentalism, psychogenesis. Everything begins in mind. Everything begins with a thought. All right. So that is something that you can study in the Kabbalah for those who really want to touch deeper on that. I first was exposed to that by my grandmaster. That's one of our principles in martial arts. And I later found out that that is in the Kabbalah. When I also took Dr. Phil Valentine's class, his entry level class in his school. So it's important, all of these different things that is out there for you to constantly, you know, um, um, and constantly study mentalism, study yourself, because all is mind. Mind is you. So that's what I how I was exposed to it at first. Okay. So this question that you want to ask yourself, okay, is your past governing the present you? Okay, that's something you want to ask yourself. For those who are in those crossroads right now, for those who are dealing with that, and you're in that crossroad, that's what you want to ask yourself, especially tonight, especially during this Pisces full moon energy, when it comes to releasing dead weight, so that your path is clear. It's already cleared. It's already preordained for you. And it's only us that is constantly just we're trying to drag things with us. That's why when I'm moving from here, from Pennsylvania, I'm leaving everything. Well, not everything, but most of the big things behind. Nothing drag. We're going to start fresh, start brand new. Okay. So another thing that you can do is practicing thoughtless meditation to take inventory of your thoughts, which is key. Okay. Thoughtless meditation is not, sometimes when we're in meditation mode, we have a thought and we start thinking about that thought and the thoughts. And then we start thinking, well, really, is it you thinking the thought, or now we have to question ourselves, is the thought thinking for us? Because that's again constantly the battle within our own selves. And so you want to practice just thoughtless, but that takes time and practice. Okay, practicing thoughtless meditation. Okay, which I was going to say medication, which that is for medication. Matter of fact, I was just saying the other day, they need to have, these, even 45 minutes classes in school for the children, for especially teenagers, and for the teachers as well. Just 45 minutes of, having someone come to the school and doing these different type of exercises, so that, they don't learn at an early age. But of course, the public school system, or what my mother used to say, the public food system, is not going to do that. So we have to take it upon ourselves, when our children do go to these schools, to unschool them when they get home. That's exactly what I do. When my daughter, now that this is her first year in public school, and I do that when she comes home. What Dr. Phil says, debrief her. That's what I do. Okay. So for those who are in the chat, let me know what's going on. How did you y'all enjoying this live? Let me know what's up. Okay. I love that, because as soon as you try not to think, then thoughts come in. Exactly. You start thinking, oh man, I got to get dinner ready. Oh man, it's reaching 10 o'clock. I got to get dinner. I got to get this, and I got to do this person hair. It's just a whole lot, because again, it's everything, compressed into, it's your entire day, your entire week, really your entire life. And when you finally sit there and do a mindful activity, it's all of those thoughts just swarming in there. So yeah, practicing thoughtless meditation is a really a divine practice that we all should aim to do. Okay. Now, this is a Pisces full moon eclipse affirmations from the Hood Healer. I love her. Follow her on Twitter. She posts, daily thoughts and daily things to motivate you and think about, aspects of yourselves that you've never, really, thought about, or just kind of jolt something within you. Okay. So you can screenshot this. Okay. All right, screenshot this. This is some affirmations that you can practice tonight. All right. For those who've done the liver flush and you guys are waiting on my what is called detox after flush list, some of these things will be on there, but you'll get more because you were already in the group. Okay. I'm still working on that. And those are for those who's in my liver flush group. The next one, the next liver flush will be in December. Okay. The winter solstice, it will be in December for the next season. Now, I'd like to say that what I want to say and what I want to add is for those who've been doing the liver flush and you pass a lot of stones, right? You don't want to wait until the next season. You can do it every 3 to 4 weeks. So let's say you pass like 20, 30 stones, and it was maybe you didn't catch it and strain it, but you see it all in your feces. You want to do another one after 4 weeks. All right, until each time you do it, it's lesser and lesser and lesser. And then you can get on the frequency of doing it every season. So I just want to be clear on that. So you don't have to wait until the season. If you've had a severe gallbladder attack, or if you've had a lot of stones, you want to keep doing it every 3 to 4 weeks. Okay. And again, it's so important to share this because there's a lot of people that are, dealing with gallbladder attacks, contemplating getting the gallbladder surgery, gallbladder removal, and all these different things because they don't know. And this is going beyond the food, which to touch on the food that, causes it, or causes the manifestation of gallstones is mainly fried, just fried, like not even just meats. It's the fried starches like potatoes, anything using a lot of oil, anything like that contributes to fats. Okay, so fried foods, especially again, then going to the meats, then the dairy. So that's in that order. So after the liver flush, you want to eat a lot of raw foods. If you're going to do oil, make sure it's not cooked. You're going to use it as a marinade for your salads. That's fine. Or a marinade for like a pasta, like what I use. I like tri-colored pasta, and I use the tri-colored chickpea pasta, and then but I make it cold, and then I'll add like olives or like olive oil, different seasonings, Italian seasoning, and make it like an Italian pasta. So that's something. Those are kind of dishes that I make like after we've done the liver flush, and then so on and so forth. But we know the best lifestyle, as far as the percentage wise, is raw. And what I'm starting with my daughter, I said, you're gonna have raw days at school. I pack her lunch every day, because she's plant based. So I pack her lunch every day, and I told her, I said, you're gonna have raw days where for the whole day, send you to school, you're just going to have raw foods. And this is something that you can practice with your children as well. They don't have to be on a raw food diet, or they don't have to be plant-based, but you can practice raw days with them. So for example, I usually pack her like hummus. She loves dipping celery and carrot sticks in there. So you can do that with like a big kale or butterhead lettuce salad, and you can put like the onions and the cucumbers. She doesn't like tomatoes. I know she wanted chickpeas, but the chickpeas that obviously has to be cooked and prepared. So you can, kind of toss that in there, so that that'll be, an experience for not, just you, but your children as well, and practicing that, so that this is something that they're, hip to, and that they don't have to be a plant-based, vegetarian, whatever, but they can practice what you call like raw days. Okay, so I hope you guys screenshotted this. Whew, like I said, family, I learned so much during my recent flush. It's been an amazing experience. Yeah, I'm gonna show the stones. I'm gonna show it. Would it be all right if I show your meal prep? Would it be all right if you show your meal prep here on YouTube? I don't have like my meal prep here on YouTube. Um, as far as like what I eat in a day. So when people ask me that, like what I eat in a day, like what I eat in a day may not resonate or work for you. So what I do is, with my iridology consultations and my examinations, I do what is called a personalized detox plan, which you'll get a lot of that, like different meals that you can make based upon cookbook and recipe books that I suggest to you. I do send my students recipes that I've created and that works for me. Like I make a chickpea patty, right? And it's literally just chickpeas, spelt flour, onions, peppers, and you put it in a food processor. Then you like kind of like mold it, like you mold it into a patty, and then either put it in an air fryer or you saute it lightly, and then I just eat that with quinoa or a salad. It's really, really good. I usually only just eat it with quinoa and a salad. I never tried it as a sandwich, but yeah, it's really, really good. So those are just different things that I do for like my clients, my students, that they have the iridology consultation. A lot of times in a personalized plan, you'll get that. All right. So as far as like meal prep and things like that, that's as far as that's going to go with that. All right. So for more information on divine alignment for your physical, spiritual, and emotional health, you can visit my website, holisticapalis.com. Get your iridology examination. Right now, I'm only doing online. I'm not doing in person, as I am in the process of relocating. And for all my Georgians, I'll soon be doing in person out there. So for all of those out there in that area, you'll love that, to have it in person. I have a lot of clients in Georgia, so they're excited for me to be out there. All right. So you can also invest in my liver flush kit on my website. So the liver flush kit again comes with herbs for the liver and the magnesium citrate powder, which you're going to need to help to pass the stones pass the stones painlessly. That helps the gallbladder to contract so that no stones get stuck during the passage. All right. So, any questions? I don't know if you have any questions. I'm going to, let's see. Does it say stop sharing? All right. Okay. Let's see. Hold on. Let me see if I can find if I can if I can actually find the oh gosh. If I could find the matter of fact, I know where it's at. Bear with me, family, because I do want to show the stones that I passed. Oh wait, I know what it's at. Okay, there it is. All right, so they were like, oh, they were like very like they were like a little bit here. Entire screen. Right here. Guys, can you see that? Let me know if you can see it. Put it in the chat if you can see it. Okay. I think I could see it on my end from my live on my phone, but yes. All right. So yes, this is what it was: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these, you see how like these are what the reason why the color is green, because that's the bile. Okay. Green colored stones that's mixed in with the bile. So I remember, oh God, I remember like when I had my first bowel movement after the flush, I was like, oh, okay, it's nothing. Like, it's like, because I had a strainer, so I could strain it and, possibly be able to see or catch any. And okay, the process, y'all, TMI, but if you're going to do it, you gotta dig through your own, shit. Okay. So it's a whole process. You have to have gloves and you gotta dig through it because you have to be able to see what you pass. A lot of people in my group, they were like, nah, I can't do that. I had one person, they passed a lot of stones, but they was not digging. But I was just like, what's that? That was green. And it, like I said, it looks like crystals. Right. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this came out of me. And this was after my third flush. The first two flushes, nothing came out. And then after this is the third one, it came out. So I was like, wow. And because it was so little, it took that many flushes to kind of penetrate my gallbladder to get that out. So, it's so, imagine, there was a story. This guy, he had liver cancer. I mean, he passed on. And when he passed, he had over 70,000 of these. Now, I want you to imagine, family, 70,000 of these stones in your gallbladder. And he was I think he was in his 60s or 70s, something like that. So, even though you may not have a gallbladder, I didn't have no pain in my gallbladder. I had no symptoms, no symptoms. And that is what we are, we bank our health on, is having symptoms, right? This is, really, I was looking at my notes from my book, and I was reading my words, and I'm like, wow, like I said this. That's another thing. When you start looking at yourself, right? Whatever you are in life, because sometimes we lose ourselves, we lose our identity. Before this cleanse, y'all, you wouldn't believe, like, just certain the place I was mentally with this move and just transitioning to a new space, and still having familiar energy around, thoughts that I was entertaining, even a thought that popped in and was like, maybe you're not good enough. I'm like, I swear I felt like my spirit was like, what are you doing? And when I passed these stones, I just, it's like I passed dead energy, y'all. And think of people that that's always angry, right? Just don't smile. I know someone who had their gallbladder removed and she never smiled. I mean, she just has like a stoic look on her face. People that they never smile. They have a permanent frown, right? Uh, they have a certain voice that's aggressive. Their voice is aggressive automatically, even though they may be happy, but their voice is aggressive. That's another thing. A trained person, a trained healer can tell the health of an organ by the voice analysis, right? A person that's always wanting certain foods, like again, salty, chips, sour, just always want that. Pay attention, because this is all telltale signs of these sludges, this calcification just sludged in the gallbladder. And you'll be surprised, family. right? You'll be surprised, even though you don't have no symptoms of what comes out of your body, right? Because again, for instance, um, when it comes to cancer, you got to go back on my other live. I did a whole 2-hour presentation on that a few months ago, where I talked about that once you have in stage 4 is when the machine can detect. It has an 80 to 90% chance of detecting cancer when you are at a higher stage. Well, if you go to a doctor, if I was to go to the doctor and had them check my liver, gallbladder, they would have said you're fine, because I had so little stones in there. Now imagine, by the time you are at a gallbladder attack, man, it's like 50, 60, 70, almost 100 stones in there. So really, that's what the power of iridology is, family. That's why, I would always, 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 always teach about it, and constantly, learn, and not learn, but bring or listen to the downloads that come to me when it comes to the science, because you know you have these going on inside the body, but you have to be at a certain stage for the machine to detect it. That's crazy to me. That should be crazy to you, that you have to be at a stage 4 of any, or stage 4, stage 3, whatever, a higher stage, to even detect that specific disease. So, family, you have to know that no machine is greater than the technology that you already have within your own self, which is your iris. The iris, again, connected, has all of these different nerve endings, which those nerve endings transmit radio signals to from every organ in your body. That's why I'm able to see the inner workings of every organ in your body just by looking at your eyes, because it's like a radio signal. As soon as something is going on with that organ, boom, it's signaling and saying, hey, hey, alert, alert. But you may not know it on a conscious level. But again, we know the saying, the eyes don't lie, family. The eyes don't lie. The eyes are the windows to your soul. Indeed, it's the windows to your central nervous system. All right. So yes, someone said, yeah, King Simon said, yeah, you had to move it and them out. Yes. Yes, I had to move it. I had to let it out, family. So, whew, oh my gosh, it's. Well, wait, what am I doing? What am I doing? It's. I wanted to go back to something. Make sure that. Let's see. It is. I think I missed some. It is. It's just. Oof. Like I said, I felt so amazing after, more amazing than I did before, and just relearning yourself. You never, we're constantly learning who we are through our daily patterns, through you know emoting, and this is all part of it. Detoxing is more than just drinking green juices and fruit juices, and eating the right foods, because in order to start to eat the right foods, you have to get to the person's the mind has to be of sound. It has to be sound, because I can sit up here and tell each and every one of you, stop eating this, stop eating fried foods, stop eating fried. I can tell you that, right? And you could go off and stop doing those things, maybe for a week, maybe 2. But something can happen, whether it be at work, whether it be a confrontation with someone, that will automatically remind you of something, trigger, and you go right back to doing the things that you stopped in the first place. So it's really, it's beyond food. I should have a show called Beyond Food. I mean, you really have to, you know, see yourself for what you are. You know, I do that through the mirror work. And I try to zoom in beyond the body, beyond the face, beyond myself, and see, you know, you see these stars in this picture, and see that part of me, that part, which is the real. And so that's what I'm encouraging you all to do. Again, if you want to get into the liver flush, um, the next group one is not until December. You can always flush at any time. All right. It's best to start on a Monday. So if you start, like, say, the 23rd, September 23rd, you'll end on September 30th, 25, 26, 27, 28. You're in on, you're in on the 28th. Sorry. That'll be your last day. So that's an example. You don't have to wait until we do it as a group. You can get it at any time, and that'll last you for a few flushes. So it won't just be one flush. The kit will last you for at least 2 to 3 flushes. I've had my last group. We did it in spring. Did it again in summer. Now here we are doing it again in fall, and it lasted them. Some of them needed some extra. They it lasted them about 2 flushes, depending on how much you're using. But yeah, so yes, indeed. Yes, I will be on King Simon's show on Wednesday, the 25th, next Wednesday. I'm excited for that. I haven't been on King Simon's platform in a while, but I really thank you, family, for your attention. It is very, as you know, as I always say, it is very, very expensive at this time. And I thank you all for sharing it with me, and spending it on me. Sharing. And again, family, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. For those who are, giving thanks to me for relocating. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that as well. I really appreciate that. It means so much to me, because I'm just, it's time. It's time, for all of us to fly without all of that dead stones within us, dead weight, that's holding us. Really, again, like I said, it's an us versus us, a you versus you. All right, family, make sure you share this live, so that, again, when it comes to gallstones, it's more than just the stones within itself to pass, but how to pass them, how to understand its manifestation, so that it will you keep a healthy liver for life. A healthy liver, you have a vibrant, energetic being, aura, face, everything. You become more flexible, you know, on an outer body level. Your face, like I said, anybody who has skin issues, rashes, all of that changes. What else? That on an abundance aspect, right? Those who have issues with lack or flow when it comes to money, abundance, you'll find that, opportunities will present itself. um, you're being at the right place at the right time with the right people. That all of that is based upon your path being clear. Everything is clear and flowing within you. So I've had some people in my group say, I just signed a contract, you know, I made more money. All of these, it's healing, detoxing is just really just allowing um your flow, or your like, think of your vessels, your arteries just opening up so that everything is moving. All right. You are a conduit. You are a conduit for source, and constantly figuring out who it is through us, through you. So that's what we have to do. And that's what our job is. That's what it is. There's no greater study than a study of the self. That's it. That is it. Simple as put. It's simply put. There's no greater study than the study of you. So continue to study yourself. And after you continue studying yourself, you just keep studying even more. Okay? Keep going. All right. Thank you so much, family, for your amazing attention. I really appreciate you so much. And again, share this live, save this live, so you may come back to it. You want your iridology, you know what you have to do. Come to your sister, Dr. Shakira Fatima, for your iridology consultation. I promise you, it's like no other consultation, not like no other iridology consultation you've had. All right. Take care, family. Peace and love. Power.